So we want to speak about the spiritual meaning of Chanukah. Okay, so first of all, I have this book that I wrote about Chanukah 3 years ago, was it? 4 years ago. 4 years ago. And I'm working on a new edition of it now. But it is this, like we have that also physical, also as an ebook on the website. And now the ebooks are like basically free. Anyone can donate whatever he feels. So welcome to go there and get it. That's one thing. Secondly, obviously there's so much to speak about Chanukah. I did like a small booklet, but obviously it can be like a very thick book just to go over like all those subjects that we're dealing with over there. So all the meditations of like the practical mitzvah of lighting the candles and so on, that's what I'm dealing with in this book here, which is basically the Kabbalistic meditations of the Arizal for Chanukah. So let's, instead of going through that it's already there written, and also I did videos on that in the past. It's on the YouTube channel. Let's take it to a different route, which is how do we look on what happened there, in Chanukah, Kabbalistically, like a Kabbalistic view on what happened there. And usually I'm not doing that. Usually I'm not so much like dealing with history, but I think that in this case it's very relevant for us, because like we are like still in a way within that process. What do I mean? I mean that the Greeks, they started off like all what we call today the Western world in a way, right? The Roman Empire like built on their foundations of their culture, and that's basically the like all what we're dealing with today in the Western world is the outcome of that. And like then there was like many Jews that were very attracted to that culture, so also today we have that, right? So because it's something that is still happening in a way, so I want to try to give it a deeper insight of the whole process with the help of Hashem. So first of all, we have to understand that there is good within anything within the creation. Any part of the creation contains some goodness. Okay? So for most of the people, we like to look on the creation as like black and white. So if we see that there's some goodness there, so it's all good. That's the kind of natural thought process that, okay, I found those things that are good, so everything is good. Okay, so people look on the Greek culture and they see that there's some nice things there, whatever it is, art or music or philosophy or whatever it is, and if I see those good things, so it must be that it's all good, and therefore it's a good thing to choose to do in our life, whatever. Okay, and also the other way around. When we see something negative somewhere, so our like simple thought process is, okay, it's false, it's not good, I don't want to have anything to do with it, and so on. And obviously both of those sides, when we look at it like as like more mature view, we understand that both of them are wrong. Yeah. Within everything that you do, when everything that happens in the world, person, nation, culture, place, whatever it is, there's some bits and pieces that are good and positive that you can get benefit from, and then there's usually quite a bit of bits and pieces that are negative that you don't want to be part of. So this process in the Kabbalah, it's called birur. Birur, it means to sort out, okay, between the good and the evil. Now So let's say that we have some just as a parable, yeah, obviously. Let's say that we have a mixture of some small parts, whatever it is. Let's say fruits, okay. Let's say the rotten fruits are symbolizing the bad, the evil, and the good fruits are symbolizing the good. So now you want to eat, and you understand that you don't want to eat the rotten fruits. So you have to sort out between the good and the bad, right? Very simple. So in the physical, for eating, it's very obvious for us. No one wants to eat something that is, off. So we understand we need to sort it out. But within the process of taking an opinion, making a point, taking a certain side within all kinds of arguments and views and whatever it is, so that sometimes we see, okay, I don't need to sort it out. It's all good. Just take it and eat it. Take it all. And usually there is some bad fruits there within that bundle that we just made to be part of our inner being. And obviously then that affects us. That we feel within us some negativity. It can be anything. It can be whatever, like bad thoughts that comes to a person, or sadness, or depression, or confusion, or whatever it is. All kinds of negative emotions and thoughts and so on. That are a result of those like parts of negativity that we made to be part of our inner being. Okay? So then we like, what's going on? What happened? Like, why do I have those things? Why? All kinds of different things. And you see that most of the people today, they are suffering from all kinds of, fears and negative emotions from all kinds of different directions. And yeah, that's a big thing. It's a big industry. Many people making a lot of money from that. So the answer is that, like food, if you want your system to be clean and healthy, so you have to make sure to take care, to watch whatever you put within you. Okay? So you have a whole bundle of all kinds of ideas and opinions that you came across, whatever, through the internet or whatever it is. So it's not right to go through that and to that sounds good, let's take it all in. No. If you want to take something in, you have to make sure that that's something that you want to have inside. Yeah. If you have a group of people that that you just met in the street, you don't want all of this group of people to come into your house. There is a good chance that some of those people are not so positive people. You don't want them in the house. So before you bring them into the house, you have to make sure that this is the people you want to have in your house, and so on. All kinds of examples. So that's what we see, the weight that the Torah is relating to the Greek wisdom. Okay? Within the Gemara, you see that there's many places that the sages came across the Greek philosophers and whatever, all kinds of, and they were very cautious, like with the interaction between them. They were very cautious, and there was some interaction, and the Greek learned from the Jewish sages, I think, a lot. Yeah, the Greek was the first language that we translated the Torah to Greek. That was the first language that the Torah was translated to. Yeah, in those years. In the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, it was translated to all of the languages, 70 languages, but that's a different story. That's a different class. Anyhow, what is the Kabbalah inner view for all of that? So when someone is going into the Greek culture, yeah, it can be in the past by those Jews. It can be today with the internet or whatever it is. Yeah. So why is doing that? Because his soul feels not completed. He feels that he needs to connect himself with something meaningful, something good, something that will fill him up with something. Okay. And that emotion, that drive that is within him, that's a good thing. Yeah. That's the desire that should lead a person to do tshuva and to connect to Hashem and to learn Torah. So when someone is like choosing to do it with something that is like the Greek philosophy or something like that, so even though there is beauty there, but according to the Kabbalah, what happens is that is falling down spiritually. Okay, so it can be that with his intellect he will be elevated and feel like joy and satisfaction, but his spiritual being, his neshama, will fall down, and that what we see by that's what we see also in the Greek culture, that even though they had like tremendous wisdom with their philosophy, but morally they were like totally out of it. They did like whatever, all kinds of terrible things. The level of morality was very low. So why is that? Because the intellect is a certain part of our being, but the main part of our being is the soul, is the spiritual part, not the intellect. So when someone is taking care of the intellect or your physical body and is not taking care of his soul, so the result is that spiritually is falling down, is going down. Okay? And for me, that's that's exactly the opposite of what I'm trying to do. The whole purpose of like what I'm teaching is to get to a spiritual growth, spiritual elevation. Right? That's what I speak about all the time. So for me, when I understand that, that's like that's exactly the opposite direction of where I want to go. So obviously I won't go in that road.
Sure.
I know it will lead me like as far as it can be away from what I want.
Right.
So, but if somebody is already there, is already involved with Greek philosophy, whatever it is, I would say the reason that you got there is because you have some part within you that needs to connect to the good side, the good fruits that are there, and to bring them with you when you're coming back to the framework of the Torah, of serving Hashem. But the catchy part here is that that's a hard process, to be able to have the patience and the strength to sort out between the good and the bad. It's not simple. Most of the people, they don't have the time span and the mind span and to do that. It's a lot of dedication, most of the people, they don't have that. So, but if somebody is already there, so I would say, okay, you're already there. You have to find the strength to go through this process and to sort out between the good and evil, within whatever it is that you're dealing with. Okay, and it's not only about the Greek philosophy. Obviously, it can be also Chinese medicine. It can be like many other things. Yeah, but the idea is the same idea. There's something that is called chokhmot chitzoniot, the outside wisdoms. Yeah. So philosophy is one of them. Medicine is another one. Music is another one, and so on and so forth. There's many like parts of wisdom in the world. There is the chokhmot chitzoniot, the external wisdoms. What is the internal wisdom? Is the Torah. Torah is the internal wisdom. Okay. So all of those other wisdom are surrounding the Torah. The Torah is like the heart of everything. Everything is coming out of the Torah, and everything have to come back into the Torah. So when someone is there and he brings certain parts and relate them in the Torah and bring them back to the Torah, that's a big thing. That's a big deal. So if he's able to do that, he made it to be worth it. Okay? So again, it's not lechatchila, it's not something that I will recommend someone to go with, to begin with, but if that's where the person is, so okay, fine. That's you can get, try to get the most of it. Right. So that's Chanukah. Chanukah is to sort out between the good and the bad. Okay? Meaning we are within that framework of the mixture of the positive and negative. And what we want to do is to sort out between the positive and negative, and to take the positive to connect ourselves with the positive. Right. Okay? And that's basically what I'm explaining in this book of the meditations. That like all of those meditations are there for that purpose, that we will do that process of sorting out between the good and the bad, and choose the good and stay with the good. And obviously, as much as we have more good parts, so then that takes us to that right direction of spiritual growth and spiritual elevation, and coming closer to Hashem, and having like a higher level of relationship with Hashem, and all of the good stuff that Hashem have to offer us. It's all there. So as much as we are doing the work and bringing more diamonds to the crown of the king, so the king is happy and pleased, and is inviting us to his feast with the help of Hashem. So Bezrat Hashem, we'll see you all in that feast, Bezrat Hashem, very soon. And for now we will hold it here. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen v'Amen.